You've done the work. You've checked in with yourself, shown yourself some compassion, started tracking your wins, and even asked for feedback. And still nothing changes. The silence continues. The praise doesn't come. The effort you put in goes unnoticed. This episode is for that moment when hope starts turning into exhaustion. When you're wondering, how long do I keep trying? I want to talk about recognizing the difference between a tough phase and a toxic environment. I use something I call the gut emotion check wheel. Score yourself from 1 to 10 in each of these areas, with 1 being the lowest score and 10 the highest. Recognition and appreciation, growth and learning. Autonomy, sense of purpose, working relationships, workload and pressure, values alignment. Leadership support. Now pause and look at your scores. Which areas feel like the deepest dip? Where is the biggest emotional weight? Low scores in 1 or 2 areas could be a phase. Low scores across the board? That's telling you something bigger. I also want you to try what I call balanced goal focus. It's about keeping one eye on where you're heading without ignoring where you've already been. Ask yourself, have I been so future focused that I've forgotten to notice what's working now? Or am I drifting on autopilot, feeling stuck but not steering? That midpoint, focused but grounded, is where powerful decisions are made. It's easy to dismiss a bad week, but what about 3 months? Ask yourself, has the feeling of being undervalued been constant? Have I raised issues and been met with indifference? Do I regularly feel drained after work with no sense of impact? Toxic environments aren't always loud. Sometimes they're quietly soul-sucking. If you're constantly questioning your value, blaming yourself, or walking on eggshells, that's a pattern. And you deserve more than a slow leak on your confidence. This part can feel confronting. Have you spoken up? Have you been clear about what you need, what you want to contribute, and what isn't working? If yes and nothing changed, that's valuable data. If not, then that's a place to start. But remember, it's not your job to manage your manager. Try this if you haven't already. I want to feel like I'm adding value here. I'd like to explore how I can contribute more meaningfully and get feedback more regularly. If that's met with silence or shutdown, that tells you everything. Sometimes we don't leave a place because it's awful. We stay because it's familiar. But what's the cost? Your confidence? Your energy after hours? Your sense of direction? Write it down. What is staying here costing me emotionally, physically, and mentally? And then ask, what might I gain by walking away? It doesn't have to be dramatic, but it does need to be honest. Before you walk away, take a moment to name what has worked. I call this your quiet power list. Write down the skills you've developed, the strengths you've used, the values you've upheld. Even in hard seasons, you've grown. Don't walk into the next chapter forgetting that. This is big. When we stay too long in environments where we feel unseen, the risk isn't just that we get stuck. It's that we start to believe we're only worthy of that stuckness. And by the time burnout hits, it's not just about the job anymore. It's about your health, your relationships, your entire sense of self. So if you're asking, is it me? Flip it. Ask, what if I'm just in the wrong environment for my strengths to thrive? I call this a courage cue, a way to move through the fog and into action. Make a small doable plan linked to a trigger. If I come across a job that matches my values, I'll apply that day. If I feel my stomach drop before a meeting, I'll remind myself I belong in the room. If I'm doubting myself, I'll call a friend who always reminds me who I am. You don't need more motivation. You need micro decisions with meaning. It's not about overhauling your life in one leap. It's about knowing your next true step and taking it. Here's what I want you to remember. You can be good at your job and ready to leave it. You can be grateful and deserve more. You can try your best and decide it's not enough. That's not quitting. That's leadership of your life. Because when you choose a workplace that sees you, supports you, and stretches you, you grow. You stop surviving and start showing up fully. So ask yourself, do I feel like I'm thriving here or just proving I can cope? It might be time for more than coping. It might be time to choose yourself. Thanks for listening to this video. I hope it's given you the reflection, the reassurance, and the reset you needed. And if you need support with what's next, you know where I am. You matter. Even when the system forgets to say it, especially then.